Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports, and we've got another Prize Picks video for you. We're going to be talking about the Thursday Night Football matchup on December 7th between the Patriots and the Steelers. But before we get into that, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen, and they will double your first deposit up to $100. So whatever amount you put on, they'll match it. If you go for the full 100, they'll give you 200 to play with. Just use our code and they will hook you up with that deal. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell because we are running a lot of different types of shows on here involving Prize Picks. And we have more content that we're working on that we'll be releasing pretty soon. So yeah, just make sure you're subscribed and you'll be notified when we drop fresh picks onto the board. We're going to do a recap of our Monday Night Football picks real fast before we get into Thursday Night Football. We had a sweep, which was nice. That was a good night. We cashed a lot between NFL and NBA that night. My two picks were I took Joe Mixon over on his receiving yards. That was set at 19.5 receiving yards. He ended up going for 46. And I took Jamar Chase over 58.5 receiving yards as well. And he ended up having a big game. He went for 149. How about yours, Jordy?
Yeah, so I took Travis Etienne's receptions for over 2.5, and he had 4. It was getting pretty close until Trevor Lawrence got hurt, actually, and then the other guy came in a must-win situation and threw him 2 balls, so that was awesome. And then we took Tyler Boyd for over his receiving yards at 30, and he went for 38. He got a catch right at the end of the game also. So we sweated that one out, but it was an awesome night. We actually hit on a ton of basketball that night too, so it was awesome.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having that same sort of dynamic with some NFL picks that we can mix with some NBA picks for Thursday Night Football and the NBA slate. This is a really difficult matchup to find a lot of value in. They're both teams are using their backup quarterbacks, and we have Ramondre Stevenson getting injured, and so he won't be in the game, and so it's going to be a little bit tricky, but I still like the value when you can match NFL and NBA picks on the same slip. So let's take a look at the over-under here. We have a 30-point over-under with the Steelers favored by 6 points. So who knows? It's not going to be fireworks, but it'll be interesting to watch nonetheless. So if we just get right into the picks here, like I said, even with the value that Jordy and I were looking for, it's like the picks we would be aiming for. Prize Picks isn't even giving us the opportunity to jump on some of those. There's not really much for like defense, like tackles, assists, sacks, stuff like that. So to get us started, I'm going to be taking Chris Boswell to go over two or more field goals. He's hit this in 6 out of his last 10 games. It is a little bit tricky because we've got a different quarterback here, and the Patriots do have a pretty tough defense. Sometimes it just depends on how this game's going to go, but I do think that there's going to need to be I think it's going to be low scoring, especially with that over under, and I think that they're going to have to hit some field goals to have any sort of edge. He's a pretty good kicker. He's averaging about 2 made field goals a game over his last 5 games, and nothing too exciting here, but when they can get within field goal range, you can pretty much count on him. He's not like a Justin Tucker who's going to crank it from really far away, but I like this prop to go over. It's a minus 125 on BetMGM for the over. And if we look at what the Patriots are allowing to kickers, they're actually, the relatively good defense. They're only allowing just 2.25 attempts per game this season. But of those attempts, they're allowing almost 2 made per game. So again, nothing too exciting. These aren't the types of stats that we're like just super excited about. But with a slate like this, I'm definitely going to be utilizing Chris Boswell and take him for his over there. And then my next pick is going to be receiving yards prop. And I'm going to be going with George Pickens to go over 39.5 receiving yards. The line on this one is set at a -120, but that's for 38.5. But I still like this to go over. In his first game with Trubisky actually heading things up, he was still able to go for 86 yards against the Cardinals. And, you know, still got targeted relatively well with 5 targets and hauled in 4 of them. And so there's not really any reason for me to get too far into his history statistically, when really this is the only game we really have with him and Trubisky in recent history to go off of. But still, 86 yards, I'll take that. And then if we look at what the Patriots are allowing to wide receivers, they're allowing just over 21 targets a game, turning that into, on average, just under 14 receptions for 164 yards a game. And so I think, you know, he'll definitely be one of the options that they're going to want to utilize if they want to move the ball, you know, outside of like Deontay Johnson and Pat Freiermuth. And so again, on a difficult slate like this, I'm going to be going with George Pickens to go over. I think he can hit 40. And yeah, those are the 2 I'm rolling with for this slate. What do you got for us, Jordy?
Not much.
It's not really exciting.
Yeah.
But.
So to get me started with this one, let me clear here. So to get me started with this one, I'm going to be going with 2 receiving yards props. This game is not exciting whatsoever, and this is going to be, I don't think we're going to hit that 30 mark personally on the over-under. I mean, I don't see how you get 30 here when these teams, neither of them have scored over anything crazy in the last, like, in this whole year. So, but, you know, we've got some value here. My first pick, I'm actually going to be going with my man Ezekiel Elliott. I'm excited. This is his first start in a long time. I'm a big Zeke fan, so I'm pretty excited here. But, you know, he is a great pass catcher. Even going back to when he was a Cowboy, he averaged like 5 targets a game, and he would haul in 5 a lot of the times. We only have 1 game to go off of here, really, from when Ramondre Stevenson got hurt in the last game. And in that game, he had 5 targets for 4 receptions. You know, granted, they were down by 6 for the entire game because it was a 6-point game. But, you know, I think they're going to be down in this game too. I think the Steelers are going to be able to put up some points, whether that's running the ball, they're probably throwing it, honestly. But I think they're going to have to play catch up at some point in this game. So I like Zeke to get some targets in this game. So I'm going to be taking his receiving yards. 15.5 is pretty low for a back like him. As you can see in his last game, he went for 40 yards on 4 targets. So he averaged 10 yards a catch. So I like him to go over this. Really, he could get this done in 2 catches if he has to. So I like him to go over that. And then for my next play, this is also, these lines are so bad because they have no info to go off of really. And this game is just a defensive matchup pretty much. But Zeke is a -110 and to go over this. But I just don't see how you could ever take the under on a play like this. So I feel really comfortable on the over with him. So with my next pick, I'm going to be going with Pat Freiermuth for over 26.5 receiving yards. Pat's been great. You know, he had 2 slow games this year, but really that were like some of his worst games this year, other than like some of these other games where he only had like 1 target and, you know, like 1 catch. But, you know, he has been putting it together somewhat recently. And I think in a game like this, he's going to get some options here because the Patriots are ranked 6th against tight ends. So they're very good, but they're allowing 37 receiving yards a game to tight ends. And they're giving up about 3.5 receptions on 6 targets. So it's going to be, you know, a pretty tight game but these lines are pretty low for the caliber of players these guys are. So I like Fryermuth to go over this. This is actually a minus 115 to go over and a minus 115 to go under, but I like the over here. I think it's a pretty safe play if you think about the circumstances of this game. Usually tight ends are a pretty safe option for quarterbacks who are trying to play it safe, and against a Patriots defense who's really putting it together, I think Fryermuth is going to get some targets. So we just need him to go over 26 and a half. So I like him to go over this. And yeah, believe me when I say there's not a lot of options here, but I am pretty confident in these two picks. So that's what I've got for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're planning on doing the same, but I do like some of these to mix and match with the NBA.
Oh yeah.
It's really nice when you have a few plays you can mix in there.
For sure.
And so yeah, that's the 4 we've got for you. Wish we had more for you, but this is just a really tough matchup. We have no idea how this is going to play out, but I doubt it's going to be, like I said, fireworks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's going to do it for this episode. Yeah, we appreciate you guys, and good luck. Enjoy watching football on Thursday night, and we will catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.